Welcome to another workout. My name is Carly. Today's workout, we have 25 minutes of upper body and core, working through a few different supersets. I'm using 15-pound dumbbells for reference. You can use whatever weight according to your fitness level. Like always, we'll start off with a quick warm-up. I'll guide you through the entire thing. Let's get started. We're starting off with some arm circles in this warm-up. Your arms are at your side, extended, lifting overhead, moving in a circular motion. We have 25 minutes of upper body and core today, working through 4 different supersets. We'll take a break in between each set. Again, I'm using 15-pound dumbbells for reference, but you can use whatever weight according to your fitness level. Go ahead and switch directions. In these arm circles, we're here for 5. You can bring your arms down to about shoulder height, crossing them over your chest, stepping your feet to the side as you move. We'll repeat each set 3 rounds through, 40 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and we'll take 45 seconds of rest in between each set. You can refer to the timer on the screen for when to work and when to rest. Otherwise, I'll guide you through the entire thing. You can modify at any point by dropping your weights or working at a slower pace. Go ahead and make your way to the floor. We're moving on to a slow sit-up, getting the abs warm. So starting on your back, your heels are planted, knees are bent. You're gonna create momentum with your core and your upper body to sit yourself up and then slow and controlled as you lower. Like I said, take these nice and slow, focusing on getting the abs warm. We're here for 10. Good. Go ahead and move to a high plank position, setting this up. Fingertips are forward, shoulders are over your wrist, core is pulled in tight. We have a down dog plank. So pressing your hips up, holding for a second at the top, and then slowing controlled as you lower down back into a high plank, dropping to your knees for a second, and repeat. We're focusing on muscular endurance in today's workout. So as we move through each round, we're gonna continue to feel the fatigue. So I want you to push yourself here as best as you can. However, at any point, if you need to take extra rest, please do so and then jump back in. When you're able to, the last 30 seconds in this warm-up, we're holding a low plank. So onto our forearms, pulling your core in tight and hold. Option for modification is to hold this from your knees. We're here for 15. Good, we're starting to feel the burn. We're here for 5. And rest. Awesome job. Go ahead and make your way to stand, grabbing a single dumbbell. We're headed straight into the top of superset number 1. This first movement, we have an overhead press with a front extension in 3. Starting with your feet hip width apart, holding your dumbbell with your palms facing towards each other. This first rep, you're gonna press overhead, fully extending at the top and then lowering down to shoulder height. The second rep, you're gonna extend your dumbbell forward, pausing for a second, and then repeat. So alternating between those 2 movements. The focus here is to pull your core in tight as you press overhead to protect your low back. We're here for 12. Good, resting in 5. And rest. We have a full 15 seconds off, so in this rest, go ahead and transition to the floor, grabbing both weights. Up next, we have a traveling renegade row. We're on in 3. Starting in a high plank position, your hands are on the top of your dumbbells. You're gonna go into a renegade row on both sides. So rowing your dumbbell to shoulder height, pressing off your opposite hand. The next rep, you're gonna walk your feet in to a bear crawl plank, going into that same renegade row. So alternating between a renegade row and a normal high plank, and then a bear crawl high plank. As you walk your feet in, pull your core in tight. The time goes by fast here. We're here for 10. Good, resting in 5. And rest. Awesome job. We're back to the top. Modification in that renegade row, you can do that from your knees, and the second time through, we're going back to that overhead press with a front extension. Starting with your palms facing towards each other, top of round 2. Good, we're fully extending here at both points. That's halfway, less than 20 seconds. In this second time through, we're gonna start to continue to feel the fatigue. That's exactly where we should be. Give me a couple more reps here for 10. You can make your way back to the floor in 3. And rest. 15 seconds off. Make your way back into a high plank position with both weights. Going into the second round of a traveling renegade row. We're on in 5. Option again for modification, you can skip the traveling plank and just stay in a modified high plank position from your knees, going into an alternating renegade row. Whatever you need here to maintain your form. We're here for 25 seconds, closing out round 2. Good. Continue to move through this, focusing on being intentional. This workout goes by quick, so it's important to push yourself every single chance that you get. We're here for 5. Rest. Awesome job. 15 seconds off. We're headed into the final round of this set. One more round of both of these movements and they go away for the rest of the workout. We're back to the top in 3. Last time in this movement, let's finish strong. So there's only 15 seconds of rest in between each round. So by the time we get to round 3, we are feeling the fatigue. The good news is after this, we have 45 seconds of rest and both of these movements go away. So stay with me, fight through, trying to maintain your form. That's halfway, 20 seconds to go. Good. Our shoulders, chest, and biceps are working in this movement. Give me one more full rep here if you can. Resting in 5. Rest. Awesome job. Make your way to the floor. Last time in a traveling renegade row. Closing out superset number 1. We're back on in 5. Option again for modification is to do this from your knees. Otherwise, we're sticking to this traveling variation. So the first round, you're in a high plank. Second round, traveling your feet into a bear crawl plank. Using your core strength as you move, shoulders stay over your wrist. I'm gonna count you down. Good, that's already over halfway. Last 15. Last 10. We have 45 seconds of rest. After this, we're here for 5. And rest. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest where you're at, moving your dumbbells out of the way. We have 45 seconds off here to recover as best as you can. So in this rest, go ahead, grab some water, stretch it out. In about 25 seconds, we're headed to the top of superset number 2. The structure of this looks the exact same. We have 2 different movements, working 3 rounds through, and then we'll take 45 seconds off after the 3rd round. So go ahead, make your way to stand, grabbing both dumbbells. The first movement, we have a push press, starting with your dumbbells in a front rack position at shoulder height. We're on in 3. Feet start hip width apart with a slight bend in your knee. You're gonna create momentum from your lower body to press your dumbbells overhead, fully extending at the top, using your core, and then slow and controlled as you lower down to shoulder height. Key here is to get your dumbbells fully extended overhead. We're here for 20 seconds. Take this 1 rep at a time, top of superset number 2. Good. Option for modification as we move through this. You can do this with a single dumbbell, palms facing towards each other. Same thing here, pressing overhead, fully extending at the top. We're here for 3. And rest. 15 seconds off. You can set your dumbbells aside, making your way to the floor in a high plank position. We're gonna get the heart rate up, going into a mountain climber. We're on in 3. Starting in a high plank position, fingertips are forward, shoulders are over your wrist. You're gonna drive your knees in, alternating each rep. Core is stable as you move. Option for modification is to go into a walking mountain climber. So skipping the jump, bringing your knee towards your elbow. We're here for 25 seconds. I'm gonna count you down. Good, this is a short burst of cardio, so give me everything that you have. That's well over halfway, last 12. Making our way back to stand in 5. And rest, awesome job. Quick 15 seconds off, try to catch your breath as best as you can, making your way back to stand. That's 1 round down. We have 2 more rounds of that same thing. That's what superset number 2 looks like. We're back to the top. Again, the key here in this push press is to extend your dumbbells overhead at the top. If you're having a hard time maintaining your form, again, modification is to drop a weight. Doing this with a single dumbbell, palms are facing towards each other. Second round through, we're here for 25. Good, again, as we move through this, there's a slight bend in the knee. We're creating momentum, pressing your dumbbells overhead. We're here for 10. Making your way back to the floor in 3. Rest, move your dumbbells out of the way. Second time through in this mountain climber, option for modification is to skip the jump, going into a walking climber instead. We're back on in 5. 40 seconds on, getting the heart rate back up. Good, we're approaching halfway. I want you to push yourself here. Try to get uncomfortable in this mountain climber. After this, we only have 1 more round of these movements and they go away for the entire workout. So stay with me, last 12. Good, keep moving here all the way to the end, resting in 5. Drop down to your knees and rest. Awesome job. Make your way back to stand. That's 2 rounds down. 1 final round of those 2 movements. Last time in a push press in 5. We're on again this 3rd round. We're feeling the burn the most. That's exactly where we should be. Let's finish strong. In this workout, again, every single round, we continue to feel the fatigue. So it's so important to finish strong, to push yourself and work through the discomfort in this final round. That's almost already halfway. 20 seconds down, last 20 seconds in this push press, and it goes away. Good, fight to push your dumbbells all the way overhead, less than 10. Resting in 3. Rest, move your weights out of the way, make your way to the floor. Last time in a mountain climber, getting our heart rate up. We have 45 seconds of rest after this movement, so let's finish strong. We're back on in 3. Closing out this second superset, showing up for you. Good, that's halfway. We have rest coming your way, less than 20. Fight to keep moving here, last 10. Resting in 5. And rest. Drop to the floor. Awesome, awesome job. That is the end of superset number 2. They go by fast, but you have another 35 seconds here of rest. So same thing in this rest, grab some water, let your heart rate come down. We are halfway through our workout. That's 2 supersets down. We have 2 more supersets to go, this 3rd superset. We're going into some core movements. So starting with a leg raise variation on our back, we're back on in 10. We're on in 3. Starting on your back, you can place your arms underneath your low back for support. You're gonna extend your legs, lifting your heels a couple inches off the floor. We're gonna hold for 3 seconds at the bottom, then going into a leg raise, lifting your legs to 90 degrees, holding for a couple seconds at the top, and repeat. Good. Pull your belly button into your spine. Your low back stays pressed onto the floor, working at a slow and steady pace. We're here for 5. And rest where you're at. Awesome job. We're going to stay on the floor. This next movement, focusing on the core again. We're going into a crunch with a sit-up. So alternating between the two. We're back on in 3. This time, starting with your feet planted, knees are lifted. This first rep, we're going into a crunch. So as you crunch, lifting a couple inches, pressing your low back onto the floor. The second rep, we're going into a full sit-up. So using momentum, sitting yourself all the way up, slow and controlled as you lower down, alternating between these two. That's already halfway, here for 20. Good. Give me one more full rep if you can, resting in 5. And rest. 15 seconds off. That's the end of round 1. 2 more rounds of that exact same thing. We're going to continue to feel the fatigue in our core as we work through this, starting back with the leg raise in 3. Legs are extended, lifting your heels a couple inches off the floor, holding for a couple seconds, moving to 90 degrees, holding for a couple seconds, and repeat. Good. Keep moving here. We're feeling the burn. Last 15. Resting in 5. Rest. Awesome job. Shake it out. Going straight into an alternating crunch with a sit-up. Good again. This time your feet are planted, knees are bent. We're back on in 3. Closing out round 2. Good. After that full sit-up, you want to slowly lower down using your core strength. That's over halfway. We're here for 15 more seconds. Give me a couple more full reps if you can. Good. Closing out round 2 in 5. Rest. Awesome job. 2 rounds down, 1 final round. This third round, our core is on fire, so stay with me, starting with your hands underneath your low back. Legs are fully extended. Last time in this movement in 3. Good. We want to push ourselves in this last round. We are so close to the end of these 2 movements. After this, it goes away for the rest of the workout. Again, it doesn't come back. I want you to show up for yourself, continuing to work through the burn. Last 15. Good. Try to keep your heels lifted off the floor, working through this all the way to the end. Resting in 3. And rest. Awesome job. That movement goes away. 15 seconds off. Closing this out with our final round of an alternating crunch with a sit-up. Knees are bent, feet are planted. This first rep is a crunch. Second rep is a sit-up. Working through this all the way to the end. I'm going to count you down. That's already halfway, 20 seconds down, 20 seconds to go. Then we have 45 seconds of rest coming your way. Good, we're here for 10. Resting in 5. And rest. Awesome job. Go ahead and rest where you're at. That is the end of superset number 3, 45 seconds off. In 25 seconds, we're headed into our final superset. We have 2 more movements, 3 rounds through, and that's it for today's workout. We're gonna end with a bang. This first movement, we have a push-up plank variation. So go ahead, make your way to a high plank. We're back on in 5. We're gonna break this up into 3 different reps. The first 2 reps, you're gonna extend your arm to shoulder height on both sides, pressing off your opposite hand. The third rep, you're gonna drop down into a push-up, pressing all the way back up, alternating between the 3. Option for modification here is you can come to your knees as you go into a push-up, whatever you need to maintain your form. Keep your core stable as you raise your arm. We're here for 15. Resting in 5. And rest. In this superset, we're combining upper body with a core movement to close it out. So starting in a seated position, we're moving into a single leg suitcase crunch. We're on in 3. Knees are slightly bent, heels are lifted off the floor. Starting on one side, you're gonna extend your leg, keeping your heel off the floor, and then alternating each rep. Hands can be placed on the ground for support. Core is pulled in tight. We're here for 25. Good, try to maintain as best as you can in this seated position. We're working the lower abs here for 10. Resting in 5. Rest. That's 1 round down. You can turn over, you know what's next. We have that plank push-up variation. Breaking this down into 3 different reps. The first 2 reps, extending your arm to shoulder height on both sides. The third rep, dropping into a push-up. We're on. Option again for modification in your push-up is to do it from your knees. Whatever you need, but I want you to push yourself. We are so close to the end of this workout. We have 2 more rounds of this, and that's it. Good, try to keep your hips stable as you extend your arms. Last 15. Less than 10. Good, you can rest where you're at in 3. Rest, 15 seconds off, shake it out as best as you can, making your way back into a seated position, closing out round 2. Hands are placed on the floor, your knees are bent, on in 3. Extending one leg at a time, maintaining this seated position, alternating each rep. Good, we are feeling the burn with these 2 movements, but stay with me. Dig a little bit deeper, last 15. Good, we're here for 10. You made it this far in our workout. Don't give up on me now, we're so close. Resting in 3. And rest, 2 rounds down. We have 1 final round left of our workout today. Like always, we finished together with confidence and with purpose. Last time in this plank push-up variation. 40 seconds on. I know this movement burns, but your future self is gonna thank you for sticking through this all the way to the end. 90 seconds left of our workout, and that's it. We're here for 30. Good. Touch your chest to the floor in this push-up as best as you can, and then press all the way back up. That's halfway. Good. Last 10. Resting in 5. And rest. Quick 10 seconds off. We're finishing this workout strong with our last 40 seconds, working the core in a seated position. We're on in 5. Heels are lifted off the floor the entire time, alternating each leg, extending at the bottom. I'm gonna count you down. That's already halfway. Core is on fire. Anything for 20 seconds. Fight that voice in your head that tells you that you should give up. How we finish these workouts matters. So let's finish strong. Last 10. Resting in 5. And rest. Awesome. Awesome job. You made it through 25 minutes of upper body and core with 4 different supersets. When you're ready, we're headed straight into our cool down. You can stay on your knees for this first stretch. You're going to cross your right arm over your chest, using your opposite hand to slightly pull in and hold. That was 25 minutes of upper body and core, working through 4 different supersets. So way to stick through it all the way to the end. Go ahead and switch sides, moving to the same thing on the left, holding it here for 10. Moving on to our next stretch, you can start in a modified high plank position. You're gonna press your hips back, extending your arms forward and hold. Good. You can make your way back to your knees. This time you're going to bring your arm overhead, bending at the elbow, using your opposite hand to pull slightly in and hold. Go ahead and release, moving to the same thing on the opposite side. Good. Up next, we're going to stretch out the chest. If you're by a wall, you can place your hand on the wall and then turn slightly out, feeling the stretch in your chest, and hold. Good. That's halfway. You can go ahead and release, moving to the same thing on the opposite side. And rest. Headed into our final stretch. You can stay on your knees. We're going to stretch out in our overhead position, so you can grasp your hands together, bringing your arms overhead, feeling that stretch at the top, holding for a couple seconds, and then release. And then you can go ahead and repeat that same thing. We're here for the final 15. And rest. That concludes 25 minutes of upper body and core. Way to stick through it all the way to the end, showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for working out with me with confidence and with purpose, and I will see you in the next workout.